Thursday night, the drivers from tonight's field in the Budweiser Shootout took turns pulling a number from a Budweiser bottle to determine their position in the starting order for the race you're about to watch tonight. And Paul Menard was the lucky recipient of this year's Budweiser Shootout pole position. Back at the Hollywood Hotel, Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, Mike Joy, and our cast of pit reporters ready to rock and roll. And Mike, as we welcome the guys in, you know, I am honored that they had the most beautiful people in NASCAR, the 60 most beautiful people. Chris DeVota headed the list. We have Jeff Hammond, who was 43rd, slightly ahead here of our own DW. And I was upset that Slugger Labby didn't make it. But congratulations, because you are truly a beautiful Darrell. But he was bragging about how he finished just a few notches ahead of you.
I said, all season. He paid more than I did.
Hey, but you know what? I was impressed. He's right there, right next to the page of that 18-year-old Joey Logano, so that's pretty impressive.
I'm just glad. It's like my whole career. I'm just glad I'm in there somewhere.
Yeah. I thought it was the most 60 beautiful people at Fox. And Mike, you and I weren't even on the radar here. I mean, this is upsetting.
Chris, I heard you were 61 with an asterisk.
But we look forward to a long and enjoyable season, whoever's beautiful or not. We're ready to go racing. Good to have you guys back for another season here on Fox.
I love the Christmas season. I love the winter. I love it when it's over and it's time to go racing again. And it all starts with the Budweiser Shootout. Darrell, you won it in '81 when it was a 20-lap sprint. Now it's going to be run in 2 segments. What do you want to find out in those first 25 laps?
Well, I got to get the rust off, man. You know, I've been laid up all winter long, and all of a sudden you're going to throw me out there in a 190-mile-an-hour cat fight, you know, with all these guys. I got to figure out who I can trust. Is there anybody in this deal that wants to work with me, or is everybody out here going to work against me? That's what I'm going to find out in this first 20 laps.
Well, then we get a 10-minute break, Larry. What do you want to do to that race car and not overdo?
Well, the good news is we'll come to pit road, we won't lose any positions. And unlike most of the pit stops we make over the course of the season, we can talk about it. We can think about it. But you know what? This is a short race, and this may be the only opportunity we get to make that car right. But we've got to make sure, and this goes especially for a lot of those new driver and crew chief combinations, not to over-adjust our race car for twice the number of laps that we just run.
All right, 50 laps to go, Darrell. What are you worried about?
Well, the biggest thing is fuel. Can I make it on fuel? Because 50 laps is right in that window with no cautions. Tires, you know, tire wear could be real critical. So I'm going to tell my crew to set me up so that I'm pretty good with that final 10 laps, and hopefully I'm up front where I can make a move to win this thing. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. Position, position, position.
This is a shootout, so we're going to show you the Budweiser starting grid short track style, back to front. Out back might not be a bad place to start. That's where Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon are going to hang out. Row 14, the biggest field ever for the Budweiser Shootout. Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, and Forge just in front of them. A lot of veterans in those last few rows. Casey Mears with a new team and his new teammate, Jeff Burton.
Jeff Burton had engine failure. He'll have to go to the rear of the field because of changing the engine.
David Rudiman alongside champion Jimmy Johnson.
Rudiman, the pole winner from Homestead there at the last race of the year.
Stremme and Logano, Allmendinger, and Michael Waltrip.
Now, Joey Logano will have to drop to the rear of the field because he missed the driver's meeting because he was still competing in the ARCA race.
Row 7, Casey Kane, Robbie Gordon, Kurt Busch, Carl Edwards.
Second place finisher in the 500 last year, Kurt Busch. Guy that almost won it, Kyle Busch.
The guy who did, Dale Jr. Bobby Labonte, Brian Vickers up in the 4th row.
Hey, Bobby Labonte's running pretty good.
Tony Stewart and his former teammate, Denny Hamlin, row 3. Scott Speed, a rookie, and Reed Sorensen in row 2. Elliott Sadler and Paul Menard start on the front row. Longest distance ever for the Budweiser Shootout and the biggest field ever, 28 starters.
That's what I'm talking about. We've used it in practice, so it's time to come to our pit, Kurt, on your radio.
Darrell?
Let's see if we can get Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon, DW here in the Fox Sports booth. Buddy, got a copy. Jeff Gordon, DW here. You got a copy, buddy?
All right, we'll double check things as Gordon will come from the back of the field. The winner of this race in 94 and 97, starting shotgun on the field. Here's the format: 25 laps, 10-minute pit stop, 50 laps to finish it off. And the field used to be set by pole winners, a whole new format this year. Top 6 in owner points of each manufacturer and a wild card driver from each of the 4 participating manufacturers in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Let's go downstairs, get some late breaking stories, beginning with Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won this race a year ago, his second win in the shootout. In the off-season, he did some hunting, he went snowmobiling with some family, and he shot 6 commercials in January alone. He said this week, man, it is just time to get back in that race car, and he'll do it tonight, Matt Yoakum.
Steve, coming into Speedweeks for Jimmy Johnson, the biggest question centered around a deep tissue and tendon injury to a finger on his left hand. He went so far as the manufacturer of brace to wear under his glove to help him grab a hold of the wheel, but he told me through all the practice sessions, no issues. As far as the car, excellent. In fact, at the break, they're working on a little game plan, a little bit of a test for next Sunday night's Daytona 500. Chris Devoda?
Well, Kyle Busch doesn't weigh much more than I do, but tonight he is a linebacker. He will be blitzing for 75 laps. You see, when points are on the line, he goes for wins. When points are not on the line, winning is truly all that matters. His team told me it does not matter if this car comes back in one piece or at all. They said tonight Kyle Busch is not a race car driver. Dick Berggren, he is a bull rider.
Indeed he is, and Carl Edwards was the winningest driver last year in Sprint Cup competition, and tonight he aims to pick up right where he left off. He's got a strong car, finished second with it here last July. As for his strategy tonight, he said, strategy, just go for it.
At least one more pace lap and they'll turn them loose for the first of 25. Caution laps do count, and standard NASCAR finish of the race rules apply. That is, one attempt at a green-white checker if necessary, and restarts. Again, shootout, short track style. They'll line them up double file, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second row, and so forth.
I like that. You know, Mike, this race tonight really is all or nothing. It's a gambler's race. You know, when the team says, oh, we're not going to run this car next week, don't worry about it. I always worry about it because I'm in it.
Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV. Now get over 130 of your favorite channels in high definition.
Yeah, I mean, next week in the Daytona 500, if a man finishes in the top 5, he's going to be pretty happy in the big picture because he's going to get a lot of Sprint Cup Series points. Tonight, I will guarantee you, we interview the driver that finishes second, he will not be a happy camper.
It hit about 70 degrees here in Daytona today. Now it's cooled down to 55. Nice racing weather, a little bit of a breeze from out of the southeast.
That's good. It is good racing weather. The engines will make good power with that kind of ambient temperature. The track's going to have good grip in it. Tire wear shouldn't be a problem. It should make for some good 3-wide racing. I think that's what we're going to see.